And starting to the top right, we have in blue the Prime player, CreatorPrime, our Protoss in blue, and he is facing the Zerg opponent at the bottom left of the map. In purple, we have Dong Regu, the player for Team MVP. A team that already was home to a lot of very good Zerg players, Sniper and Monster, as well as Dong Regu.
Yeah.
But now another one joined them.
Yeah, Shine.
And we're not talking about the Casper Shine, no, we are talking about the former TSL player. Team TSL disbanded, and Shine now found a new home, is now playing for Team MVP. And we have Creator now with the pylon logo, and he's going for the scout. This is one of the things that we discussed a bit earlier when Parting was playing. Parting, a Protoss player that really likes to skip on the probe scout, does not necessarily know what exactly you're up to, especially when it comes down to an early pool. But we have Creator now with the first probe that heads down to build the pylon online, going right into his opponent's base, just confirming that it is a pool first, that there is like no gas, no early pool shenanigans, not a hatch first play. So really like the more standard play that you would expect, the more safer option.
The safer one, making sure to do everything that that he can to know DRG's plan from the beginning. He's also doing some little harassment with his probe. That's one thing that's really important that doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, you see it and you're like, okay. That actually, if you do this consistently, like Creator's doing, not only do you make up for the fact that you're losing mining time with the scout, but you actually do more damage to his mining than you not having the probe there over time.
Yeah. So what we currently have is once more just the block at the natural.
So terribly. If he had waited a few more seconds, he would have been able to get the hatch up.
Yeah. I mean, right now, this is one of those scenarios where you just try to keep your probe alive for as long as possible, block the hatch, and just buy yourself some precious seconds. The Forge is already being built, but we have a Nexus first build for Creator here. And Creator in the last game was trying to rely on the Phoenix play. That worked out for quite a while. In the fight itself, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't lift a single infestor. The big problem was that immediately when those Phoenixes approached the Zerg army, Dongregud turned around, dropped the fungal, and the fungal hit every single one of them. So they weren't able to get close enough at this point, and later on, Creator didn't really not pay that much attention to them anymore, to just lift those individual infestors. The beginning of the battle, that's where it really mattered, and that's where DRG really like out microed him with that fungal early on to make sure that this lift didn't happen.
Yeah, you're right, and I have to say I was really impressed with the crisis management of DRG in the situation where he lost so many queens, he lost a lot of overlords, and he still was able to stay strong. And taking that fourth base, able to protect that even against the Void Ray, DRG just looked like, I mean, the DRG that you would expect to see, the one that was winning a championship, the one who was defeating his teammate Genius in the finals just last year before he started to go through a slump. And you know, people always argue, well, is it a slump or not? Yeah, actually it just was.
Yeah, for the level of play that we were used by him, it definitely was. But now he's kind of back. He is... And I feel that if a player is really in this really bad spot where he feels like he can't win the games that are most important to him, and for DRG that was the... well, he couldn't
the Kodas and Busan and the GSTL as well.
Yeah, both of them. I feel if you can overcome this, and then just bounce back, you usually come back a lot stronger than even before. At least when it comes down to the attitude towards the game, your mentality. And DRG showed us great performance in the up and downs, and I can't wait to see him now in Codes. It's going to be really amazing with all those players that were also able to make it. I mean, ST is also in Codes now. We saw him play today against Parting, was just barely able to win a game. Barely able to get out of the round of 16. It was so close. But you could see those different styles as well. This Nesty just being so prepared for whatever Parting did. And if you really study the playstyle of a player, especially when you have a lot of replays or VODs at hand, you can do so much. Scouting pattern, positioning of overlords, like everything matters so much, especially in the early game. One of the things that is really important when you watch all these games is the longer the game progresses, the more freestyle it becomes.
Yeah.
Especially the early minutes are crucial. 1 or 2 seconds can just make sure that there is just a bit of a butterfly effect, whatever happens. And if you lose 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, that just adds up later on. but then at a certain point you have to freestyle a lot and just to make the right decisions in yeah, the part of the second.
Right, that's true. And things certainly do snowball in StarCraft. That's an absolutely true thing. These stalkers, by the way, that he has on the map while you were giving that beautiful speech, did a little bit of damage. He forced some extra links, and
That speech, it was like a nice way of telling me, dude, you completely overdid it. And I know, I was like, this is going too long.
no,
We
it's
need to
fine.
wrap it up.
It's fine. He's gonna continue to put this pressure on, and link speed is still not quite done. He's gonna force more links here, because if he doesn't make more links, then even when link speed is done, the links will be dead by then. So nice control by the creator here.
Yeah, but if you think about what he does here, I really like this a lot. He's going in with the aggression with the Stalkers, but he's still opening up with a Stargate again. So we have him with the Phoenix play. And these Stalkers were already making sure that the Queens were a little bit damaged, that he takes down a few of those Zerglings. So this is like an opening that now leads DRG into this massive amount of Zerglings that he builds. It's of course not only true because of the Stalker opening, but it's just an added benefit.
This is the 3 Phoenixes before the 4th that you were talking about. Unfortunately for him, I don't know why he's going back like that. Like, he could have actually gotten one and then maybe been able to get a second one, but
I think he did not take them because he's like, well, I can take down one, but I'm not gonna do anything to do your production at all. And he probably already scouted also what's going on. And DRG is going for such a aggressive Zergling attack here.
yeah. But the thing is, he's gonna run into a wall, so this is just to deny a 3rd base, which is what he expects from Creator, because Creator doesn't normally do timing attacks. In this case, though, with the 4 gateways going down the main, Creator could definitely hit one as a follow-up to this. He's doing a little bit of damage to these Phoenixes, but not too much. Just trying to test the waters a little bit, but he's going to have to do something with his army soon and try to take that 3rd, or move out and put a little bit of pressure on DRG, who does have this macro hatch up now.
The harvest account for Creator is currently at 48, and he stopped producing probes at all. He's just going into, he's moving out with his army right now and trying to claim to at least throw those Zerglings back that were originally there. We have the 3rd base now being built. He does it without the Twilight Council that has become so normal when you try to take the 3rd base, because you want to have Blink to be a little bit more mobile. So he's just relying on those Immortals, on a lot of sentries now to take this 3rd base. But this is definitely a different style of taking a 3rd than we've seen in the last few weeks.
Yeah, this is very much different. I think, you know, what's weird about this to me that really threw me off and made me think, okay, it's going to be a 2-base attack. He could still cancel this Nexus. Is that he has all his gates in the main instead of trying to use it in the wall. DRG has 102 Zerglings at the 11.5 minute mark. He's making more.
And Creator doesn't build any harvesters. It looks more like he might.
Yeah, I think
out,
he's just going to cancel this.
This.
Yeah.
Because he has 48 harvesters. That's not what you want to have if you go into a 3rd base. And now he's moving out with this. And the Zerglings are trying to run in, but another pylon is being dropped. So here come the cannons. Does he cancel the Nexus? He still didn't cancel the 3rd. He has to. The Zerglings are running into the natural
so
though.
many of them. Of course, he goes down to block some of them out. He does get a good warp in of Zealots. I do not think he should be fighting probes here, though.
Yeah, and at the same time at the bottom left we now have this attack by Creator. He's going into the 3rd base, trying to take it down. He's already down in overall supply, but the 3rd is definitely gonna fall. The big problem is that even with the warp in, Creator was not able to defend against the links at his natural. He warps in another round of units because he realizes that he has to do something. The Zealots don't even have... do they have the 2nd attack upgrade? No, they don't. So they are on even upgrades with the Zerglings, which makes those links so much more cost efficient against the melee units of the Protoss.
Yeah, this is looking really, really funny, because Creator still has a strong army. DRG doesn't really have that many spines up to deal with the attack. He's got only 2. He needs to use perfect force fields, and so far he's focused actually on his natural. So the links get in, he loses a sentry, and this is his entire army. He cannot afford to lose any more than this because his 3rd Nexus is useless.
The army supply is better for Creator, and he's starting to bully his way into his opponent's base. We have the choke
Creator?
point.
I think DRG might actually just come back. He might get sandwiched here.
Yeah, he might. Those upgrades are really important. Pathogen Glance is nearly halfway done, and we have +2/+2 now on the board and halfway completed for the Zerg. And the Zerg still has this gas bank. Here come those links. The force fields are brilliant. They're really good. This is like the perfect donut, nearly trapping all those gas-intensive units and making sure that the Zerglings don't get the surface area.
Yep, third base just died as well, and he's going to run out of energy eventually, but so far the force has been really good. And Lewis, he waits till the last second every single time, takes off 2 more Zealots though.
Yeah, DRG is trying to bait more force fields,
One
and now the
Infestor,
upgrades
2.
are done.
Yeah.
+2/+2 is completed, and
Pathogen Glance.
yeah, this leaves Dongnagu in a much better upgrade position than his opponent.
He's going to get a few Infestors out, and if he can get them on the high ground while this Pros army is just here trying to break through, then he will be able to make them work.
Creator is down to 22 Harvesters, and here come those links. Once again, the force fields are good, but this is like the last stand of Creator. This is like 300, you know, and in the end they are gonna die, but they're putting up such a huge, awesome fight, and this is exactly what we're gonna see here.
More Zealots coming through, the hit with the Infestor is good. More Queens popping out, but they die as well. It's actually so close. I can't even tell you who's going to win this fight.
Has more army supply, a lot more army supply. Maybe this time the 300 will prevail. The force field on the ramp. He has the force field at the ramp, no reinforcement. In few infested Terrans are being dropped. Here come the drones, Lings, everything.
So close. The 4 Zealots coming in. The Immortal looks like it may go down. There's a tiny little gap here, but he's not fighting with his Lings, he's fighting with some drones. Now he turns it around. Wants to get that Immortal if he can. And
Creator with those boss force fields. I mean, those were like the best force fields that I've seen in eternity for the entire last like 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, and he's damaged the Zealots so heavily. Both Immortals still alive here. He needs more Infestors, and he does take out the hatchery here. That Infestor looks like it's going to die to the Phoenixes. I think this might be it. It might have to be Creator's done it.
Creator is still in a position where he has less Harvesters, but on 22 Harvesters, it's not as bad as it was before. He took down all these bases. Both of those players only rely on one. Those Overlords are in the worst position ever. They die immediately. That's wasted money, and Dongnagu can't afford it.
Yeah, he needs to save the rest of his Overlords as well, so he pulls them back to the back of his base. He doesn't have enough money to spend and get himself supply block just yet, since his supply is so down, so he lost some units. The spawning pool is about to go down. I think this is just going to be overwhelming eventually for Creator. And to the top left, Dongnagu's trying to hide a base, but
I don't.
He's not going to get any drones over there.
It's gonna happen. What kind of matters here are the next few funnels. And look at those nice dodges here. He dodges. Those sentries are still alive.
And here come those Lings.
This is brilliant play by Creator.
Oh
this
my
kid
god.
is so fucking good.
But it is going to be potentially too much for his army. He needs to get away from those infested Terrans, but the drones have to trap. The Queen goes down. More Zealots running in here. The sentries trying to fight. And DRG is fighting for his life here. And it looks like he will actually clean up this army.
The sick positioning by Creator, always just hugging those tree lines, hugging those cliffs, making sure that he is in a spot where he can drop force fields and just minimize the surface area. But Dongnagu just barely able to throw this back. And now the Zerg player is building a base to the top left, a base that I don't think Creator will ever scout.
He needs to get gases up there, and DRG needs to put gas back in, or get mining back in his gas in his main. Because with the Infestors he's built, yeah, that's good, but he's going to have a few more. He needs to get as many out as he can in this type of situation where Creator's mining is so limited.
Yeah, but with 5 additional Infestors, I think this is it. I mean, there are 9 Infestors on the map, and now he can drop the funnels, he can go for the infested Terrans. It's just like, he can buy himself the time that he needs to make the base to the top left work, because both of them are now eventually running out of minerals. There are not a lot left, and the base to the top left is already done, so the only thing that Dongnagu has to do now is saturate it.
Yep. Evolution Chamber goes down here.
It's 300 after all. They are fighting the entire time. They're doing an awesome job. You think maybe they can make it happen, or we have one of those American happy endings again, but then in the end they're gonna die, and I feel this is the fate that Creator is now headed towards.
Yeah, he's long distance mining from his natural. He can start his nexus there, he does, but even his natural doesn't have that many mineral patches left. And DRG is already having an additional base mining, so if Creator just sits here and waits and long distance mines suspect defensively, yeah, Dongnagu probably won't be able to kill him right away, but Dongnagu is going to get too much. He's remade his natural as well.
But still, this performance by Creator was just amazing. You know, he could have done I think he would have done it if he could have defended his natural a bit better. And he had the wall, but there were like 1,000 zerglings, like from every single angle. They were climbing on top of each other to jump over the gateway there
Yeah,
and the forge.
if he had done a better wall or gotten perfect force shields, this game would have definitely ended in Creator's favor, I feel, considering what we've seen. Donrigu went way too Ling heavy, and with all the force shields that Creator had available to him, he would have been able to easily
Yeah.
take a fight at
His
Donrigu's
problem were
base.
the initial links that were able to run in, because then he had to fight at
And
so
he
many
had to make
fronts at the same
warpins.
time that he could not really focus on the wall anymore. He had to focus on his own army at the bottom left, he had to focus at the defense with those probes, and then he had to focus also at the wall trying to reinforce it. He got a second too late, more links running in, and then things snowball, and now he finds himself in a position where he doesn't know about the base to the top left, but this mining base is gonna be his downfall.
Creator with no production right now. Bungles and kills one Phoenix. Starts another Phoenix. In fact, he thinks that's, with his limited production, one thing that can get him back into this game. Good force shields here, but they're only going to buy time.
Yeah, and that's time that is not even working in his favor. Yes, he has the base up now, but there's just so much full energy infestors. Those infested Terrans and the Fungals, they alone are going to destroy Creator.
Creator's Forge is going to go down, which is going to be eliminating part of his wall, meaning he'll have to use more force shields to survive each and every attack. And continue to kill that gateway now. More and more links coming through. Roach Warren goes down.
It's a little bit heartbreaking to see this happen. Not to take anything away from DRG here, but Creator, he fought like a lion. In the end, it's not enough. It looks like Dongregu is claiming victory again in game number 2 and taking a 2-0 lead in the best of
Gate
5.
goes down. Here we go. Fungals on these units, and Creator does not have enough DPS, does not have enough army. A great last stand here, even with his Guardian Shield, but GG.
Yeah,